Virginia Living Museum. We're going to start in just 1 minute. I have a little bit of announcement that unfortunately Chuck is not here today. He's a little under the weather. So he's not here today, but we have one of his best friends, and her name, a female groundhog, is Sweet Pea. So she's gonna stand in for Chuck today, and she's young. She's young, she's only 8 months. She was born last spring. Let's bring in Sweet Pea, okay? I need your help with this. Now, we don't want to alarm her, so we're going to gently chant her name to bring her down the center aisle with our inner circle of guests today, okay? Come on along with me. Sweet Pea, 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 Sweet Pea. Oh, very good. Ladies and gentlemen, we're honored here today to have a stage full of distinguished guests who make up our inner circle. So if you would welcome with me, Wavy TV 10 meteorologist, Jamie Wheeler. I'm in the way, sorry, Jamie. We have Vice Mayor Tina Vick from Newport News. Councilwoman Sandra Cherry. Councilwoman Sharon Scott. Our Virginia Living Museum Board of Directors President, Mr. Jim Burnett. Board members Ashby Kilgore and Sarah Messersmith. All right. Also on stage is Andrea Svensson, Senior Director of Guest Experience, and George Matthews, our Curatorial Director, along with Sweet Pea's handlers, Colleen and Susan. Welcome all. Now, we know that today is Groundhog Day. It marks the midpoint, right between the summer solstice and the spring equinox. Today, as we're surrounded with you, our amazing crowd and media, we gather to determine the future of Hampton Roads weather. So I would like to introduce our Curatorial Director, George Matthews, who's going to talk a little bit about groundhogs and share some great groundhog knowledge with you all. George.
Wait, are you ready for Groundhog Day? All right, who's liking spring? Early spring. Who's liking winter? Groundhogs have different names. One of them, of course, is groundhog. Anybody know their name for a groundhog? Right there.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Whistle pig.
Oh, very good. Thank you. Whistle pig. Because sometimes when they get lonely or excited or bored, they'll let out a whistle to try to find other groundhogs or try to find other ones wandering through the woods or warning them that something might be nearby. Okay, how about another name? So, right there. Okay. Okay, so I heard groundhog, I heard whistle pig. What's the third name again? Woodchuck, right, exactly. Thank you, very good. So those are three different names for the animals here. Groundhogs are interesting creatures. They go into a really deep hibernation in the wintertime. And in fact, Chesapeake Chuck is in a very deep hibernation now. He's resting, and because of his age, we have to keep a close eye on him. So we have a special guest here today, which you've heard already, Sweet Pea, which we're all excited about. And pretty much at the museum, groundhogs eat pecans, carrots. In the wild, they'll eat anything they can get a hold of. So they're really cool animals. The males get up to about 12 or 15 pounds. The females around 8 or 10.
Okay. As history tells us, if the groundhog sees his shadow, we'll have 6 more weeks of winter. If the groundhog does not see his shadow, we will have an early spring in Hampton Roads. So let's see, you've got some papers there. Show again who's interested in spring. Who are the spring folks? You see that? You see that, Jeremy? All right. And the winter folks? Winter? Just just making sure Jeremy sees you all and what your prediction is. Okay. Now, please welcome to our microphone, Wavy TV 10 meteorologist Jeremy Wheeler.
All right, thank you very much. Pleasure to be here today. We got some great weather, so that's good. We lucked out with that. Hopefully that can continue through the rest of the weekend. I think it will. So again, it's great to be here. I welcome Sweet Pea to her first prediction this year, so this will be interesting. I got a sneak peek, and she's got a lot of pep, so that's good. So we'll see what she'll come up with for a prediction. I'm sure she's going to be honest with her decisions today, so we'll trust her, and Chesapeake, of course, with us in spirit. So that was Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, when the first official trek to Gobbler's Knob took place on February 2nd, 1887, a long time ago, right? As the story goes, Punxsutawney Phil, the first weather forecaster, forecasting groundhog, came out of his den to see a shadow, which meant there would be 6 more weeks of winter weather. No shadow would mean an early spring. And today, for the 9th year, we've been doing this for 9 years, we're going to witness the prediction, not only Hampton Roads weather, but also the prediction of who's going to win the Super Bowl. So, it's interesting. We had a lot of people that want some spring. We had a lot of people that want to see some weather. But you know what? I also think people love spring weather, but we haven't really had a lot of snow here yet, have we? We've been ripped off. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here in just a little bit. All right, so here we go. So distinguished members of the Virginia Living Museum's Inner Circle, I ask you now to stand up. So we're going to do some analysis, some high-tech analysis, and we're going to determine whether or not Sweet Pea sees her shadow. A little bit of calculus involved in this, too, so just so you know. Hear ye, hear ye. In Newport News, Virginia, on this glorious Groundhog Day, Saturday, February 2nd, 2019, Sweet Pea, seer of seers, prognosticator of all prognosticators, awoke to the call of Hampton Roads, Virginia. She greeted her handler, Susan Shepperson, George Matthews, and members of her distinguished inner circle. And after casting a joyful eye toward her faithful followers, Sweet Pea proclaimed, "A bright sky above me showed my shadow beside me, so 6 more weeks of winter it will be."
On behalf of Sweet Pea, our Chesapeake Judge,